an encumbrance demonstration. Encumbrance is a module in fund accounting that creates purchase orders, encumbered budget, and creates disbursement records automatically upon liquidation. No matter how small or big your school is, encumbrance can be used by anyone. It can be one computer or 15 computers, even more. You can use the basics, or you can use all bells and whistles, or somewhere in between. I'm going to start showing you a purchase order and how to enter it. The risks that go along with it, I'll show you the financial report that shows the outstanding purchase orders, amounts on it. I'll show liquidate, and then the resulting disbursement. Then we'll go all the bells and whistles. On your you will see an example of a purchase order, and a purchase order number, a requisition number, and a date. The thing about this is, if you are entering purchase orders for next fiscal year, you can start doing it right now. All you have to do is change that date to next fiscal year, and it will encumber next year's budget, not this year's. You can see our two vendors bills there. One is they're different for who you send money to and who you send the purchase order to. You set them up separately in your vendors and use them on these in these fields. The program keeps track of who entered the purchase order and who edited it. So it is very important to have your users who are going to be using encumbrance, that each of them has a different initial and password to get into the program. That is very important, so remember that. Next, here is the grid where you enter the purchase orders. You enter the account number, which you can press F2, the F2 key to search for. You can duplicate a line by just pressing F4. We also have a frequently ordered item list, which is set up per vendor. And when if you have something that you order over and over again, you can add it to that frequently ordered item list. And then when you're putting it in again, all you do is press F8, and it brings up the list. You select, and it puts in this grid. You don't have to actually type it in the frequently ordered item list. All you have to do is highlight the line and press this button, Add to FOI. Very simple. This additional information tab, which gives a description of the purchase order, a comment field where I always suggest you enter a fax number, because it seems like most people fax their purchase orders to the vendor. There's no place in here for that, so the client will print on the purchase order, so it'll be right there handy for you. As you see down there at the bottom, I have my on this account number on that line, and it brings up detailed information on that account number. It is the budgeted amount, the year-to-date, the budget balance, the liquidated amount, and the outstanding purchase order amounts, and the remaining balance. For every time you move your cursor to a different line, it will give you new information. We have a tab, which you do have to use this tab if you don't want to. A lot of people don't use it. They put their shipping on the with regular line items. If you use it, you can choose what building this has to be shipped to, and that will print on the purchase order. There's a by date, ship via freight terms, and the person in the district who needs to be notified when are delivered. And again, you don't have to use any of that if you don't want to. If you are entering the shipping, you select the number and the amount, which can be a flat amount or a percentage. This information here is for the entire purchase order. It totals everything up and gives you the total, the shipping total, and the purchase order total, and et cetera there. left-hand corner, it shows you quite an amount that has been ordered, received, and will open, and this per line. So click on the lines, that information changes. Here you have information per account number. It's the encumbered amount, which is the total outstanding purchase order amount for that account number, and the unencumbered balance, which is the budget minus year-to-date that's already been expended, minus the total encumbered amount, and this is the actual unencumbered balance, which is exactly how much you have left for that account number, including the amounts that are promised through purchase orders. Okay, let me show you some reports. Just got encumbrances. When you purchase this, you don't normally see encumbrances up there until you purchase and you receive a new license file. Purchase order register, I'm just going to briefly bring it up to the screen so you can kind of see the way it is. We have the item description here. This is your purchase order number, the date, the figure. Here's the account number, the responsibility center, the quantity, the unit cost, the amount that's open. It gives you information on the total of the whole report, and then it breaks it down per fund. The next report we have is the quantity report. I think that's good to take to the truck when you're making sure everything is received. It gives you the ordered unit cost, quantity open, amount open, quantity received, and amount received. I'm going to leave encumbrance and go to the financial report. Now, the financial report is going to be the report you're going to print to show, what has been budgeted for account number, what has been expended, what is the total of your purchase, and the amount that you really have left in each and every account number that you have budget and a budget amount for. So I'm going to click the binoculars and search for account number 2560. Press enter, and it brings that account number for me. Let's get our headings here. Right now, for June, I have nothing expended. No checks have been written for this account number yet. Here's my balance, which is really the year-to-date, the amount that has been spent so far this year, the amount that was originally budgeted, the budget balance, meaning the budget amount minus the year-to-date, and here's my total outstanding purchase order amount for this one. And so that is subtracted from the budget balance to be an unencumbered balance. I know exactly how much I do have left to spend. It gives a percentage of the budget, which is 19%. Now I'll show you how to liquidate a purchase order. And you can, when it's set up like this, you can liquidate one of them or the whole purchase order, whatever you receive an invoice for. So I'm going to just liquidate this whole thing. I think I've already liquidated some of it. Previously received, I've already received 21 of those. So I'm going to, let's say I've received the whole thing. So I can change my record date here if I need to, put a claim or an invoice number just like you have on your disbursements. You can select the description of the disbursement being the description, which is on the Additional Information tab. The item description will actually write on the item grid or you can put account description in there. I'm going to put in the item description, but that's going to be pretty long, so I'm going to just use the PO description. And I want to do all lines. I'm going to click and then click continue, and it's going to say, it says liquidation complete. 3 entries made to the disbursements totaling $95.61. And there are 3 entries because there are 3 different account numbers. So it's created disbursement to Allen Foods for all of those account numbers, just like you would if you were entering them from scratch. To disbursements, and that is an earlier one. Here we have them, 948. The transaction is liquidation. There's another one I liquidated earlier. 98 again. I think liquidated a couple answers of this, so I actually have 5 and they're all liquidation. So these are ready to have a check number assigned and checks printed. And they all are Allen Foods, and so it'll create you one check. Now I'll show you the bells and whistles. The bells and whistles with supervisor options. Now, if you have several people that you're going to have entering, taking care of purchase orders, they will all have to be set up in supervisor options. Now, you might have somebody at the unit office doing all of this. You might have just one person. You might have somebody in the district office entering purchase orders and liquidating them. Whatever your setup is, you might have the building secretaries entering purchase orders. So where these people are and who are, you need to enter them here so that everybody has a different initial and password set up. When you do that, you can give them rights to, let's go to somebody who just has encumbrance. Okay, Tina has just encumbrance here. Restricted options access. The idea being that if you have somebody off-site who is entering purchase orders, you probably want them to have rights to other things. So restricted options access means that when you go to preferences, they can't get into most of these preferences because you have the program set up a certain way for the main bookkeeper, and no one needs to be changing those things. There are several things that she won't be able to get into. She won't be able to get into data entry, reports, utilities. All she'll be able to get into is encumbrance. Next, I go to preferences, other options, encumbrance, and this is where bells and whistles are. I'll explain these to you. The first is an Indiana preference, and so I won't go into that right now. The second one is hide liquidated purchase orders. All it is if you have in encumbrance, when you purchase orders, here's one partially liquidated. This one is just open. This one is received, which we're going to talk about in a minute. You don't see any that are liquidated. That's because I have them hidden. When I click the binoculars to search, I only have these open purchase orders here. I don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that I've already liquidated. Those are all hidden. Auto increment PO numbers. That means that click Add to add another purchase order. This is 10065. This is likely going to go to 10066. Now I can choose this if I need to right now. And you can drop and not use it. You may have your own set of purchase orders that you don't want implemented automatically. So that's just whatever you decide. I'm going to get a little off track here for a second because this says see attached, and I'm going to go back to the first one where I have a lot of things here. And when I explain to someone, and I explain to them how they need to enter each line here, and print it and send on, and there's one person doing this, usually they say, I don't have time for that. Is another way that this can be done? And yes, there is. Usually in schools already have some sort of system set up where teachers take down from the catalog the number, how many they want, the description, cost of it, all is already written down by the teacher, and that is submitted to maybe the building secretary. Already done. So the other way that this can be done rather than all of this written down is to per account number, top the amount, put 1 and that total amount, and then for the item number and the description, you simply write C attached, and then when you print this purchase order, you also fax the requisition that has already been filled out. This still encumbers the budget for every account number the way that it's supposed to. It just is not in detail. It also will liquidate those per account number, just like it does if there are individual line items. So I just got off a track there for a minute, but I did want to explain that. Show account numbers and responsibility centers on purchase orders. All right, let's look at a purchase order. Purchase orders, and let's just preview those. Here I have a line, and right underneath it, I have the account number and responsibility center that was assigned to. Have that turned off, then I will just see the line items without that account number there. Here's my finance field with my fax number, and you can purchase orders from our catalog department. I'm sure you've all talked to Mary Jane before, and she can give you out with that. Okay. We have an encumbrance account access. Now we have a lot of users off-site, say building secretaries, or people who are assigned to do purchase orders, and we do have many schools who actually have a purchase order person, and maybe there's more than one. Then that person can have their own set of account numbers. That up in income account access. What you do, this is all set up by you. You create groups, and you create the account numbers that go to that group. And I have a cafeteria here. I have a central office, elementary, high school, and these are the only account numbers that can be used when a purchase order is created. On that grid, and you go to the account number line, you press F2 to search for your number. The person with this one is only going to see these account numbers. So they can't, it'll be far less likely that they would select the wrong account number. Close this. And I'm going to close this also, and back in supervisor options. Here's the account access. So if I go back to Tina, she has encumbrance account access of elementary. So when she enters a purchase, when she signs in with her initials and password, and she enter a purchase order, is only going to show her those 6 or 7 account numbers that she has because she has this group assigned to her. Again, you create those yourself. All right, back to preferences. Is don't allow save over budget purchase orders, and exactly what it says, what it does. When you enter a purchase order and you save it, it will automatically show you the budget if it turns it red. You remember this over budget. This will turn red. So the person entering the purchase order is know that it's over budget. But even if they try to save it, it will not allow it. That preference will not allow that purchase order to be saved. Liquidate when PO is fully received. Or have that selected means that you can't liquidate one item or one line on a purchase order. You have to liquidate the whole thing and let you until it is all received. So this, in addition, gives you one more bell and whistle. It gives more thing. It gives rights to receive. So, for example, like that the person in the district office is the one that pays the bills, but the building secretary or someone at the building is entering the purchase order. And this is where it's going to be delivered because you told it to deliver it to the grade school or whichever one it is. That doesn't matter. So as that truck comes in and delivers these items, maybe get 2 lines on the first truck. Then go in and click Receive, Liquidate. Let me go to a different one here. Let's go here. Let's go to Receive, Liquidate. You can receive that, click Continue. When you come back, it's going to show that those 3 items have been received. But I'm not going to liquidate it because, first of all, the person that is entering this, which is CGF, is going to receive it, but I'm not going to give her rights to liquidate. It won't liquidate until they're received, but even when it is fully received, she's not going to have liquidate rights. So somehow or other, she needs to let the district office know that purchase order is completely received, it's ready to be liquidated. And just something internally that you would have to figure out whether it's she does a report that shows it's completely received, or email is sent, or a telephone call, or however that's done. Okay, back to other options. POs require approval. Okay, choose that. Then let's just use this as an example. One is, for example, the principal. And principal in the buildings has to approve every purchase order that is entered with a total of $300 and more. 2, in our example, would be the superintendent's office, which everything 0 and above has to be approved by the superintendent. So when it's turned on, we click OK. Then we go to user options, and we choose our level 1 and level 2 people. So let's go to a principal, Larry Fry, and I've given him encumbrance rights. Let me edit. He can receive purchase order line items. I'm going to give him level 1 approval. Now, see down here, signature. The check signature program is another tool that can be purchased for fund accounting, and if you do, or if you already have it, that signature can be put in the signature tool, and you can select this signature, his signature, and that will automatically be printed digitally on the purchase order. How he's going to approve those. So save that, and we go down to, or back up to, Betty, who is the superintendent, and we're going to give her level 2. Now, 2 could be the unit bookkeeper or whoever you choose. Select this, and I'm going to edit and log in Larry Fry, and then equal to encumbrances, approved purchase orders. Now, he doesn't have anything in here. They must all be approved. Let me see if I can log in as the Barger. Let's hope she's got some to approve. Sure. Approved purchase. Nope, she doesn't have anything. Sorry about that. But there's a list of every purchase order in here that needs to be approved, and it can be, you can approve all of them, you can deny it, whatever that person, approval level person has, that can be done here. And in this grid listing all of them, you can double click, this person can double click on it, and it'll take them right to that purchase order so they can see exactly what they are approving or denying according to whoever's signed in here. Right. Sit and re-log in again. Supervisor. I can also approve them. I wish I had one in there. I'm sorry. I think I've over pretty much everything here. We do have a fixed asset list in here. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot to it. It is just a list is all it is. And you put a line item on it. You just click check mark SA for frequent or fixed asset, and then that will be on the list. Okay, I finished. To purchase encumbrance, sales. Any other questions and sales can't answer your question, contact FM support or email FM support. And all those emails and telephone numbers are on the FM support site. Just log in and go to contacts, and it'll help you out there. Thank you very much.